The comedy in Komi Can't Communicate is almost like just unparalleled. Every single week, I feel like this anime keeps getting funnier and funnier to where like I am almost just like hysterically laughing during the whole entire episode. And it's just because of all the different ridiculousness and the surrounding characters around Komi that really just make it funny because of all the different misunderstandings and all the different antics and all the different eccentrics that continue just to kind of like gravitate towards Komi. This specific episode was focused on two very, very unique characters. One, which we have been introduced to before, and one that stumbled upon us during the first time. One was Yamai, which is the girl who originally is the one that threatened Tadano for even talking to her, which we knew she had a witchy side, I guess you could say. And the other one was Yadano Makero, and she was the one that we got introduced to early on in this episode. She was the girl with pink hair. She was the gangster who has this unspoken rivalry with Komi that she has to beat her at the physical exams. And what is hilarious about it is that she has such a like opposite personality to herself that she was just like a straight like gangster. Like she was crushing this dude in front of her, like his freaking his shoulders just as she was looking at her. But ultimately during her competition with Komi, we got to see a very unique side to her, and I wonder if she's ever even gonna come back into play, to the circle of characters, into the 100 friends. This might just be like her time to shine in this what 2-3 minutes piece of the first hour of the episode. But essentially she has like this gangster moment and she's competing with Komi, but she gets crushed. I'm talking about she gets crushed on her vision. She gets crushed on her weight. She gets crushed on her height, her sitting weight. Like she was heavier and shorter than Kobe in all facets. To the fact that where she was like, oh, I bet there's somewhere out there that there's gentlemen who really revel in girls with short legs. And ultimately she gets crushed by Komi, and Komi doesn't say one word to her. They didn't even acknowledge her existence. But yeah, at the end of it she says, good job, it was a tie this time, till next year. And it was just so ridiculous and so hilarious, and just so like these characters in this anime, they're just so charismatic and they have so much personality and they have so much just like charisma and so much just like crazy things that they do that makes them extremely memorable. And that's what's awesome about the anime, is that you get introduced to these characters, and like this character, she was just like a flyby character. She was not even like a true character that we've seen so far. We might see her again in the future, but she was a flyby character, and she was extremely memorable for her gangster ass antics. And then the way that she lost but still called it a tie, I was like, oh my god. The rest of the episode then is focused around Yamai, and Yamai is the one who had originally like breathed death into Tadano's ears on episode number 2, just for speaking to her about Komi, like even breathing the word Komi's name. She basically like exorcised freaking Tadano on the spot. So it's all, and she's the one in the brown sweater. I'm sure I have a picture up on the screen, but it was all focused on her. And right before we kind of got into like her arc, we saw, Tadano walking to school, and suddenly I think he might mention Komi, but he gets like this shadowy figure, and the shadowy figure comes and just yeets and deletes him and just like kidnaps the F out of him, and he's just gone. Then the anime continues, the episode kind of unfolds. And even Nejime, she confirms like, yo, Tadano, he's not here in school today. It's kind of weird. And the girl, she ends up sitting in Tadano's Yamai ends up sitting in Tadano's desk, and they're like, this kind of odd. And she continues to push the envelope and push the envelope on, even to the fact of, I guess it kind of really started with her trying to say hi, and we had Himiko first come in and ruin her high, and she turned into the devil. Then you had Nejime come out and ruin her high. And then when they got into the classroom, she tried to push the envelope again, trying to invite her to lunch, trying to get to know her more. And eventually we get to the point to where Nejime has an idea of like, hey, how about we go to your house and I'll bring Komi. And well, who's at her house? Well, she kidnapped. She was the one who kidnapped Tadano because he was getting in the way, and she put him inside of her closet or inside of her room where it's like a shrine of Komi, like pictures everywhere of Komi just everywhere. And she was kept like cropping her faces on. It was like the worst thing, like the worst like horror movie type of experience for Tadano, and that poor boy's gonna have PTSD forever. But she ends up taking them. They end up going to Yamai's house, and she shoves Tadano in a closet, threatens him, tells him she's gonna take him to a mountain, and basically threatens his life 9 ways to Sunday. And then the Nejime and Komi end up getting there, and they find Tadano, and then they see Yamai's real side, where she's like ballistic, and she's like dual personality, and she's going like just crazy, talking about how Tadano's not good for Komi, etc., etc. And eventually, Komi, via her writing on her notepad, puts her in her place, and Tadano and her walk out, and the next day ensues, and then she tries to apologize to Tadano, and they finally set everything right with Yamai of what actually has been going on with Komi, her communication, her socializing skills or lack thereof, her communication issue that she has that she's been working through. And that finally gets all set up and all set straight, and Komi finally allows Yamai to be a friend, but not before Yamai re-threatens Tadano one more time again to not get in the way of the relationship. Before I end my little recap, there was a very special moment that was shared between Komi and Tadano prior to the Yamai apology. And Komi actually talked, like really, like not over the phone, like in person, really spoke a full sentence to Tadano. And it all came because she was telling him let's not be friends anymore, or I don't think I'm worthy of being your friend. And Tadano stepped up and said, I choose my friends, like the same line that Komi had said at Yamai's house. And it was a really emotional moment, and I love seeing that Komi is opening up to this level that she's never done before, and she's doing it with Tadano, meaning that their relationship is special. Now, it might not end up being like any kind of like relationship, but regardless, like their friendship is something that's really special, and it could turn into something more because he really understands Komi. Like even if he thinks he's a commoner and not worthy of her presence, regardless, the relationship that he has with her and the way he understands her with no communication from her, I feel like she's really appreciative towards that, and he really does bridge the gap. He really is able to understand Komi. Even Nejime during the episode understood that, because when Tadano wasn't there, she struggled to even understand what the hell Komi was saying. So I think that's really powerful, and that was a really awesome, like really cute moment for them to have this episode. And I was like, yes, that's awesome. Go our boy Tadano. Overall, though, guys, like this episode was it was fire. My my throat feels a little hoarse from so much freaking ass laughing. Like it was just so goddamn funny from like the moment it started. From the moment it started to the moment it ended, the two different girls, the drastic personalities, their craziness is just on another level. And these are the people that continue to surround Komi, and it's just awesome. Like this anime is just freaking insane. It's just so damn good. But I've talked enough, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys being here for another review. I appreciate you guys being here for another episode of Komi Can't Communicate. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know if you agree with everything I said in this review, or let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are on Yamai. Let me know what your thoughts are on the new girl, Yadano, that was introduced. Let me know what you think about Tadano getting kidnapped. And let me know all those thoughts in the comments down below, guys. And if you guys, for some reason, missed our reaction, our full reaction is going to be right over here. So make sure you guys go check that out as well. And we'll see you guys next week for episode number 1235. Peace out, friends.